All right, Video Barbershop version 1.34 has just shipped, and I wanted to show you some of the new features that are in here and explain a couple of the bugs. I've got this 2-hour tape here. First thing you'll notice when you load a video, there's this yellow line that screams across. This is the audio track analyzer that before was kind of working in the background. I now have a visual showing you as it's going through. This was a 2-hour tape, so as you can see, it goes fairly quickly. But the commercial break detection system, which is in the advanced controls, if your normal clip trimming control system here, if you turn on the advanced controls, you get the commercial break detection system. This system has some new features here, but it would be blocked until the audio was fully analyzed. And so now it's pretty much available instantly. The audio information is streaming in, and it can now process it while it's streaming in, so there's no delay there. So that's pretty fantastic. The little extra details that I wanted to mention here is clip flare, clip background colors. You can color your clips in your clip queue based upon the clip length, and it's totally customizable by you. By default, you'll just see this one here where everything just has no background. I've set these in here, so a clip between 15 and 45 seconds I'll have as a dark green, a clip between 5 and 15 seconds, like a shorter station stinger, will be purple. Everything else, larger than your standard commercials, are just defaulted. But you can add new ones and it pops up. You define the color. I do recommend going darker because the text is fairly light, so you can see it better. If it's bright, it'll definitely stand out, but it's really hard to read the controls when you do that. But it's totally up to you if that's your thing. But you specify a minimum duration and a maximum duration. If you want to have a fallback like this, you can put in a 0 max duration, and that'll just be kind of an infinite, no limit time. And then you can add them, and then these are sortable, and so by default when you add them, they'll be added to the end, but they get analyzed from the top down, and so the first match gets used. So in this case, everything is going to be that color, so you want to kind of reorganize the logic of how you want to check what in that kind of cascading logic. But once you do set that up, you'll get nice color-coded clips, and I'll show that in a second. But just the last thing, this other thing, is the minimum clip length. I have it set as 1 second, so when it's going through analyzing and clipping, it won't clip anything shorter than 1 second here. You could increase this to like 5 seconds, so it'll just keep adding content on from the previous clip until it exceeds this minimum length. So it allows you to control exactly how fine you want your clips to be controlled, the clip size. But anyway, you go through the standard way to do this is to kind of find a good commercial break. And I'm gonna kind of step through here using the number pad, do the shortcut hotkeys to kind of advance quickly. It's a little too quick. There you go. You find that your black frame that your kind of represents a good middle spot. Hit the calibration tools, and it'll calibrate the brightness and noise level at this frame accordingly, and then you can start clipping. Now, the one thing, I've gone through this tape a number of times, and I know that is actually, let's see these commercials over here, because I know that is a very, very quiet, very dark spot. So oh yeah, that's quite a bit noisier. Let's kind of back up the frames till we just get a good spot. Still pretty loud. Kind of advancing frames, and you can kind of go through kind of a commercial break like this and advance frame by frame and find out kind of what you're looking at, you know, for these various clips, because these different, let me advance a few frames. There's quite a lot going on here. There we go. Now we're starting to probably some background music or noise or background hum. There we go. Now it's dropping down. Okay. I was going to say, it's usually, this is really good to take a look, because you may, as you're seeing, you may hit onto really loud moments. Now, I know this is actually pretty consistent with a lot of the other breaks. Brightness, I'm just going to pop this up slightly so it'll catch anything darker. Anything quieter and anything darker is where it really catches it. But then I'm going to just plow through these, you know, this video and get all the commercial breaks. Now, as you see, it'll start to clip things, and that first block, there weren't too many commercials, but now you can see I've got some commercials, 31 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. So it's color coding according to the times we designated. And so we can have, you know, these colors, you won't see them on these timelines. This is still consistently the same color scheme, but you'll see it over here in the queue. And where that's really great is you can then go through and see the stuff that you like and the stuff you don't like, and just kind of delete. Like, you'll see large programs will be larger chunks here. You can delete the stuff you don't want and then just clean and filter up the stuff you do. So it's really powerful, really great way to stay organized and do your automatic clipping of that. Now, I'm gonna get rid of those because we don't need them anymore. But that's one of the new updates in the latest version. If you do any kind of separating programming from commercials, this is a huge update that makes it really fast and much easier to use. The second big feature in this update is a pop-out window. There's a new icon here. You see these two little windows, and before, this window is really locked into its size. But what you can do is now pop this window out, and you can put this on a separate monitor if you want. So you can have your controls, you know, side by side on different monitors. As you can see, the section now decreases, has this show preview player, just brings focus back to the player. Some of the thing, you know, gives you a little extra space here if some of these controls get a little cramped. Might be kind of nice to work in that environment. But in here as well, let me just show you can match the export size. I'm going to click that. So this is a 640 by 480. Oh no, it's actually 720 by 480. So it is reducing down to that size of video. Default size is a little bit larger, just kind of the default pop-out window size. That's a little nicer, but you can match your export size. And that is, let me actually make a clip. Let's clip the entire video. So you can see now, okay, resolution. Let's do an export size that is, let's get into 16 by 9 HD, 720p. So that's my new export resolution. Let's bring that back. So match export size. Now we've got it scaled up. You can see there's the letterboxing that's going on. And because Video Barbershop supports transparency in its core, even though this is going to be exported as MP4 and MP4 doesn't support transparency, this will be black. However, if you do switch it over to a movie QuickTime movie format, it'll default to ProRes Alpha transparency, supporting transparency. So you can export this with actually transparent letterboxed and keep the video itself inside. But as you can see, this is now real size. It's pretty fuzzy because it is a pretty low quality VHS tape, but this is now a little feature. You can kind of reduce it, you can scale it down, and make it a little smaller, and then you can return it to the main window and just go back to the standard controls. Now the other thing is you can just close it here and it does the same. But I think that's really great, and it's going to be really wonderful for folks that have dual monitor setups and would prefer to actually see a true representation of the size of the video that they're exporting. So other than that, the rest of the update, really some bug fixes. And so I just want to mention it in case any of you have actually come across these bugs. What exactly I fixed. Previously, this add button, so if you do a minimum and maximum duration, the minimum duration needs to be smaller than the maximum, obviously. But if you did larger, it deactivates this button and you couldn't do anything. Unfortunately, previously, I had it so that 0 was technically lower, would deactivate this button too, and you couldn't do this maximum duration, no limit, because it was just doing a raw evaluation as maximum greater than minimum. So anyway, I fixed that. So 0, you can now add it as a no limit fallback. But that was one little minor bug that was really inconvenient for this coloring scheme. All right, so the other bug that I noticed is, and this had been kind of plaguing me for a while, if you had a clip selected and you're in this clip selection window, if you had closed a video and opened up a new one, I'm just going to grab this simple commercial, what I would notice is that this would not respond very well. You couldn't do clipping, you couldn't do selecting. Everything seemed to be kind of unresponsive. Even clicking these buttons wouldn't really help. So you'd have to close the whole app down and restart it, and it was this really weird focus bug. But anyway, as you can see, that's now fixed, and it was specific to having a clip selected when you deleted the entire video. Really kind of obnoxious, but that's nice to be taken care of. Let's see what. Also scrubbing. If you tried to scrub on the video line when you had a clip selected, it wouldn't respond. So both of these you can scrub back and forth, and you can see, this is when a clip is selected, you're locked into the clip, domain. But now both of these can be scrubbed independently, and they reflect each other as it was intended. So that's just kind of a nice little UI polish that I was glad to be able to get going. The other thing that I've kind of had to redo is this visualization, and especially the spectral analysis visualization. This has all been redone because of this whole pop-out window ability and the ability to scale this to different sizes. It'll redraw and rescale everything, and especially if you're doing different types of aspect ratios relative to the original. The graphic equalizer was kind of shifting in weird ways and just not working quite right. But spent some time and went through the math and got that all squared away. So now it kind of redraws according to what dimensions you have, the window size and everything. Still not totally perfect. Not completely happy if you do a portrait. It kind of, it squeezes it. That's probably what you'd expect. But I don't know. I'm a little torn as to whether I think it's probably good. I'm probably going to just keep it. But you can get into some weird configurations where this might look kind of strange and kind of condensed, but for the most part, this looks much, much better than it used to. I mean, you couldn't even see it before when you did a portrait before. It was like mathematically it was shifting way off screen here, oddly. So anyway, so those are some of the, you know, big things with this latest update, the streaming of the audio and opening this up to be used much faster, bringing these controls front and center, so you can color code them instead of hiding them in the settings. They were in the settings, you know, they were back here hidden, that I'm sure very few people actually ever looked into. But really great stuff. And then this pop out window, I really love it. You can, you know, now you can truly see, you get a representation of what you're actually exporting at full resolution, and you can kind of tweak things accordingly. So I'm really happy with this latest update. If you don't have the App Store set to automatically update your copy of Video Barbershop, go ahead and do that. You'll see, you know, in the App Store, you'll see update section. So go ahead and, you know, see if the app needs to get updated. If it isn't, if it's already updated, as you saw, if you just kind of at the very beginning, it shows the version number. If you don't see 1.3.4, be sure to update. It's a good one. Okay, thank you so much, and I really appreciate you purchasing and supporting my, you know, endeavor here to create, you know, a really great video editor specifically for the VHS community. And if you haven't purchased it already, it is available on the Apple Mac App Store. This, I do know, this QR code will scan on your phone and it'll say you can't buy it for this device. And no, it's not mobile. You need to buy it through the Mac App Store on your computer and not through a mobile device. But I do have the QR code there so that you can pull it up on your phone so you can have a reminder when you sit down on your desk. So, but thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy this latest update.